team about what you're doing. Why don't you give us our viewers a brief overview of the mission of Mercy Chefs right now?
Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time to let people know what's going on up here and the need that still exists. Mercy Chefs is a faith-based nonprofit that provides meals in the wake of disasters all across the country. We've been doing this for 6 years. We've been active in all the major hurricanes and tornadoes and storms, and really thought we had put our equipment away for the year, and we were going to have a little bit of time to do maintenance and recoup, and I just would have never expected a hurricane this late in the year.
And especially one of this kind of magnitude. I mean, the sheer size of this storm, I think, really caught everybody on the eastern seaboard by surprise. And I know the folks in New York, I've seen some of the pictures that you've sent back. They're absolutely horrific. And I think what you guys are doing is amazing. One of the questions I did have, though, is when you are providing these meals, we're not just talking bagged meals and dry cereal. What are people actually getting from Mercy Chefs?
Well, Mercy Chefs was born in the wake of Hurricane Katrina, and it was one of the things we saw, that there was so much of those just cold sandwiches handed out. You know, the joke in the field is cold food and hot water. And we thought that there was a better way to serve people. And we've engaged professional chefs from around the country that work with us. And, you know, I call our food just good comfort food, around the table at home food, food that you eat with your family. We do a lot of chicken and meatloaf and casseroles, and we always have starches and vegetables, and we work really hard to get fresh baked desserts and cakes and rolls and biscuits out as well.
That's awesome. I know Mayor Bloomberg held your organization up as being one of the most active during this time. When did you actually arrive in New York?
Gosh, all the days are running together with me. I think we got in here last Wednesday.
Okay.
And Thursday we got in, and we were feeding in and ran through, and we worked on the Lower East Side until yesterday. They had power come back on down there Saturday, and we fed one last meal and stayed with them through yesterday, and then moved our equipment last night in the night from southeast Manhattan, or Lower East Side Manhattan, to Brooklyn, over on the coastline of Brooklyn, the Point, down by Sandy Point and Coney Island. We found that area didn't have anybody providing hot meals. So we are set up there today and serving lunch and dinner, and we'll go as long as we can.
Well, that's. Let me ask you a couple questions just on the heels of that. When you were in Manhattan and delivering meals, you were seeing not just hundreds of people. We're talking thousands of people. And as word spread, I suspect that the needs grew.
Right.
What kind of feedback were you getting from these folks? And keep in mind, our listeners, these are people who just really went through a battle zone in many respects. No power, and in many cases, they've lost most of their belongings, correct?
Well, in the high-rises, they haven't lost so many of their belongings, but, I mean, people in New England just aren't prepared for hurricanes. And Lower East Side are high-rise projects, and so with no power, there's no elevators, and there's no heat, and there's no light. So within just a 2 or 3 block the area of us, there were 40,000 people that were in these high-rise tenements with nowhere to go for a hot meal.
Sure.
And so we saw them coming down, and we were working with some great churches up there that were doing some distributions of needed items, so they could get a hot meal and get some water and get toiletries or other products like that they needed for their house, and just trying to help them through until they could get the power back on.
Well, now that you're in Coney Island, I know that's an area that really has been overlooked. A lot of people consider Coney Island, especially folks on the outside looking in, to Coney Island, they maybe heard about it in a movie set or something. It's more of a, maybe almost like a theme park or a resort area. Just give people a very quick thumbnail of what Coney Island is like and how badly it's been hit.
Well, there's the Coney Island Amusement Park, and that's maybe 2%. I mean, it is a point that comes off of Brooklyn out into the bay. It's directly across from the Verrazano Straits and Staten Island. So we are just on the other side of the water from Staten Island. And it is, there are multiple feet of sand on the road. The homes there are all washed out. And again, we're finding low-income housing projects that have no food. So we've set up, we're serving right out of our mobile kitchens. We're doing 8,000 to 10,000 meals a day. And we're also packing up hot food and taking them over to these high-rise buildings and setting up right outside the lobby so folks can come down and get meals. What's really been exciting is the kids will come down and say that they know older people up in the building that aren't able to walk the steps. And so the children actually just volunteer themselves to run boxes of food up to the shut-ins.
That's awesome.
It's always heartwarming to see neighbors helping neighbors.
And you're seeing a lot of that, I'm sure, but it's probably especially heartwarming when you see young children, who are fed, now turning around and trying to give back to their neighbors, their friends, their family members who maybe can't make it down to the trucks that you're at. How long do you think you're going to be in that region? I hear you talking about 8,000 to 10,000 people, and it has been a neglected area up to this point. How long do you think you'll be in that area?
Well, it is a neglected area, and that's what Mercy Chefs always looks for. We look where is nobody else, and where is no one helping. Frankly, we look for where is the media, and then we go somewhere else, because we know that so many of the people are going to gravitate to the media. That's always what we try to do. Our plans right now are to stay through the weekend, at least through the weekend. What we don't know is how this next nor'easter is going to affect the city, and we may have to completely readjust our plans and measure our assets and be able to stay longer. Not that this next nor'easter is going to be that severe, but any rain, any wind on top of what they've already had up here, it's just going to be devastating on top of devastating.
I'm talking to Gary LeBlanc from Mercy Chefs, and Gary is currently relocated from Lower Manhattan over to Coney Island, and they're delivering thousands of meals to people who have been just obliterated by this storm. And Gary, you're right, there's another storm on the way. I think they said it might hit as early as Wednesday, and that ground is saturated, and there's not much more where the water can go. So we don't know what we're going to find there, but what can our viewers do to help you accomplish your mission?
Well, the first thing we ask anybody to do is just pray for us. Pray that we would have strength and wisdom, and that we'd be able to work hard where we are, and that the little thing of sharing hot meals with people would be effective and bringing them some sort of encouragement and relief from the disaster. That's the first thing. People just need to pray for us to be strong and for the people that have lost so much up here. So many of these people are poor and they're losing paychecks, and they can't go 2 weeks without a paycheck. I mean, it's just been very difficult. So pray for the people that are affected. The other thing is, if you're a chef, if you have some skills or talents that would work and you can get to New York quickly, go to our website at www.mercychefs.com and click on the Info at Mercy Chefs link and let us know about your skill set, and we'd love to have you come and give us a hand. That's the second thing that people can do, is volunteer to come help us in the field if they have chef skills. The last thing, of course, is our financial resources are always an issue for everybody. It's something we try not to march with out front, but we do need support. And we can't go do these kinds of things unless somebody sends us. Somebody has to be able to send us to come and do this. And financial support makes it possible for us to feed these people. You can only imagine what the grocery bill is for 8,000 meals a day. Even simple and concise meals. It takes a great deal to pull that off. And people can also go to our website, the www.mercychefs.com, and they can donate there online, and that money comes directly to us in the field, and we're able to put it to immediate use feeding the people here in New York.
Well, Gary, I think those are great tips to give to folks, especially folks who want to help? I know outside the area, we can't really understand the scope and the devastation that's going on, but you certainly articulated it very well, and I think brought forth a need that a lot of people, I'm hoping, will answer, whether through prayer, through financial resources. Gary, I know you've got a lot on your plate, so to speak. We're going to let you run, but I do want to share a video for our viewers, a video that was prepared to give them a snapshot of the kind of thing that you're seeing every day and the kind of hope that your team is actually bringing to these people in these devastated areas. Gary LeBlanc, again, I appreciate you for your efforts. May God be with you as you move through the area, and I just pray that the Lord brings you to the areas that need your help the most, and that you continue to give us great reports in the upcoming days. Thanks so much for joining us, and again, for our folks who are watching, please stay tuned for a very short video that we've prepared that will give you a real good, clear picture of exactly what Mercy Chefs is doing in and around New York City at this time. Thanks so much. This is Ron DeYoung from Liberty News Network.
I remember the very first day that I came out, I wasn't expecting to have any food to eat for the day. I just knew that I was coming to help people who were in a worse situation than me, and I got a good, delicious bowl of chili, and I was even more excited to help out. One of the local pastors had tweeted that people were going to be down here providing food for people who didn't have any, and so I just came. And I was originally helping to do grocery packaging, but I saw the Mercy Chefs truck, and another pastor told me to come over and see what I could do, and that was on Thursday, and it's Sunday today, and I've been helping every day since, and it's been a wonderful experience. I've just learned the value of a really hot meal, and I've seen people just leave really, really happy and seen them smile for, maybe the first time in a while, just because they have a good meal in their belly and they're excited to go back and share with their family and their friends. So it's just been a really great experience, and I've had a really good time. I hear that this organization is 100% donation based, and that's beautiful. That's amazing. And there are so many people whose lives are changed, absolutely changed, because of you guys. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Very delicious, very tasty.
The best.